Saul. Hi, Olivia. Where are you? No, they're not going to watch the video. Probably not. 4:25:19. Okay. So here's our objective today. We want to learn about geometric sequences and series. Okay, so these are words hopefully we're getting a little bit comfortable with. A sequence is just the list of numbers, and the series is to add them all up. Okay, again, sequences is just to list them, put them down, and a series is just to take it and add them all up. Okay, that's what makes the difference between these. Geometric, though, is where you're going to be multiplying. You're going to multiply by the same number each time, okay? Now we call that R, which is, we call it the ratio. And the reason we call it a ratio, it's our multiplier, okay? The reason we use R is because sometimes we're going to make our next term by multiplying by a fraction, right? We might take a half of something, and a half of something, and a half of something. So our multiplier is really a multiple of 1/2. Some can say, well, you're dividing by 2. Yeah, divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. Same thing as multiplying by 1/2, okay? So if we're going to multiply or divide, in a sense, by the same number, it becomes geometric. So here's our formula. So to find the 30th term, or find the 100th term, or find the millionth term, whatever, we got a formula. A of n equals A1 times R to the n minus 1 power. Now the reason you need that, the reason you have to have the n minus 1 power is this. In order to get your first term, you need to be able to take your A1 times 1, right? So you've got to have the n minus 1 because you're going to plug in 1 first. Okay, logically think about this. If you want to make your first term, you got to plug in 1, then you plug in 2, and you plug in 3. So if I plug in 1, 1 minus 1 is 0, and 0 power is 1, and then you can get your first term. That's why it's got to be n minus 1, because the first thing you do is plug in 1, right? So it helps you, it allows you to get to your first term, okay? Now, from here, let's see how this formula works. So, example 1, write a rule for this sequence, and then find the 20th term. All right, so, what's R?
That's a big number, Keith.
Yeah. Yeah, they get big fast because it's geometric, right? It's exponential, right? So what is R? 3. Everybody agree? 3. So we're multiplying by 3. Now, if you have a difficult time finding R, you can always take the second term divided by the first term, right? 15 divided by 5. That makes sense, right? Because you're going to find the multiplier, so let's just divide it out to find out what the multiplier is, okay? So let's go ahead and make a rule. So I'm going to go A of n equals A1, which is 5, times my R, which is my multiplier, which is 3, to the n minus 1 power, okay? Now, how many ways can I say this? Do not multiply 5 times 3. I'm going to say it again. Don't multiply 5 times 3. Don't do that, because you're supposed to do the exponent first, aren't you? Don't multiply. 5 times 3 is bad. Don't do that. Keep it like this because you cannot. You have to be able to take the exponent first, then multiply by 5, right? Thumbs up?
Otherwise you're going to get a massive number.
Yes, and the wrong number too, okay? Everybody got that, number 1? Easy, right? Done. Now, if I want to find the 20th term, I'm going to say, okay, A of 20. Okay, if I want the 20th term, A of 20 equals 5 times 3 to the 20 minus 1 power. Okay, so I'm just going to use my calculator, 20 minus 1. I'm going to go, okay, just use, it's going to be a big number. You're right, Caleb. Huge number, isn't it? 5 times 3 to the power of 20 minus 1, right? Which is, big number. 58113073335, comma, comma, comma. Let's see. Here's my thousands, millions, so it's billion. It's 5,811,307,335, okay? Yeah. Okay. Okay, thumbs up? Okay, number 2. Okay, write a rule. So write a rule for a geometric sequence where A3 is 54 and A6 is 1,458. So let me just do first a visual so you get the idea. I want to write a rule, so I want to use my A of n equals A1 r to the n minus 1 power. Okay, so there's a few things I need to know. One, I need to find out what the multiplier is. And the second thing I'm going to have to do is find the first term. Okay, to do this, I don't know the first term. I know the third term, and I don't know the multiplier. Okay, so let's set it up. Okay, let's set it up. So we can go and use this form. So I can go A6. So I can go 1,458 equals A3, which is 54 to the r to the n minus 1 power. Okay.
Oh.
So now let's let this be A1 for just a minute, right? So if this becomes A1, I went back to, then that makes this one A4. Okay? For just a minute. Let's let this one be A1. That would make this one A4. Okay? So what I have here is A4. I have A1. So what's my n is going to be 4 in this case. All right? Let me go ahead and write that down so you can see it. So I've got, in a sense, I've got my A4 equals my A1 times r to the 4 minus 1 power. Okay? That's what I have. I'm calling this A4, so I'd call this A1. So let's go back to what I have. I've got 1,458 equals 54 times r to the 3rd power. Okay? R to the 3rd power. We can solve this. A couple of reasons. One, we know how to do logarithms. We really do. So let's see if we can solve this. So I'm going to go straight to divide by 54, right? So 1,458 divided by 54 is 27. Oh, I can do this in my head. I don't need any fancy math. So what would I do to solve for r? Well, close. You meant to say cube root. I knew that's what you meant. Cube root, everybody agree with cube root, right? Cube root. Cube root. And what's cube root of 27? 3. So my multiplier is 3. So r is equal to 3. Okay, now, if that's the case, we still need to find A1, right? Okay, so we can find A1. I can do that. So let's use our formula. We can do that. We can divide by 3, divide by 3. So we can work it backwards. Why not? Let's just do it the easy way, okay? Let's do what Daisy said. Here is 54. Divide by 3, right? 54. Divide by 3, and we get a 18. Divide by 3, and we get a 6, right? So this first term is A1 is 6. So now we can do this. We can do this form, okay? So I'm ready to finish it up. A of n equals A1, which is 6, times the multiplier, which is 3, to the n minus 1 power. And again, of course, do not multiply. Don't multiply those two, right? So there's my formula that would create this particular geometric sequence. Not bad? Okay. Guys ready to turn the page? All right. Now, geometric series. So series, the word series means to add them all up. I know, I use such mathematical words. I've learned a long time ago that just use regular words. Okay. Now, here's our formula. So if we're going to add them all up, it's S of n, or the sum, A1 times parentheses 1 minus r to the n power, all over parentheses 1 minus r. It's kind of a crazy formula. I won't prove it. We'll just accept my formula, okay? So, example 3. Find the sum of the first 20 terms, okay? So, it's 2 plus 6 plus 18 plus 54. So, first of all, I know A1. A1's 2, right? What is r? What's r? What's r? R is 3. Everybody see it? I'm going to go multiply by 3 times 3 times 3. Okay, so our formula would be S of 20, right? Equals A1. A1 is 2. 1 minus 3, because that's my multiplier, right? 3 to the 20th power over 1 minus 3. Now, got to be really careful how you put this in your calculator, okay? You might have it totally correct on your paper, but how you put it in the calculator is really important. So let me show you a couple of ways. One, you can do it step by step. I'll do that, and then I'll also show you how to do it just one straight through, okay? So step by step, what you could do is automatically make that a -2, right? But you've got to be careful on this. So if you go, I'm going to go 2 parentheses. Okay, see it? Yeah, 2 parentheses. Got to go 1, subtract 3 to the 20th power, okay? Close your parentheses, right? Divided by parentheses 1 minus 3, okay? Enter. And that would be the sum of adding all those terms, okay? You guys see how I have it in my calculator? You got to be careful. You have to use your parentheses correctly. Otherwise, you're going to get the wrong answer, okay? So, and you could do it step by step by step, and that'll work too. It's kind of a pain. So, let's see. 3, 4, 8, 6, 7, 8, 4, 4, 0, 0. Put some commas in there. Comma, comma. So what do I got? 3,486,784. I said that wrong. 3,486,784,400. Wow, that's a big number. Okay. All right, now, example 4. So this symbol means sum, right? Symbol means sum. So what we're going to do is this. I'm not really going to do it. We're going to plug in 1, get an answer. We're going to plug in 2, get an answer. We're going to plug in 3, plug in 4, blah, blah, blah. We're going to plug in all the way to 15. So we're going to plug in the numbers from 1 through 15. We're going to get all those numbers. We're going to go plus, 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 plus. That will work. That will work. But what if we got a formula? And we do. We have a formula, right? So instead of making all 15 terms and then add them up, let's just use the formula. So first of all, my formula is this S of 15, right? So I want the sum of the first 15 terms. So I'm going to use that formula right there, S of 15, okay, is equal to, let's see, I need my first term. So I really do need to make my first term, but that's easy. I can make my first term. So I can go A1 is equal to -3 times 1.5 to the 1 minus 1 power, which hopefully you guys see it's -3. Okay, -3. So A1 is -3. So I'm going to use my formula. I'm going to go S of 15 is A1, which is -3. Then parentheses 1 minus R. What's my multiplier?
-3.
It's 1.5. Okay, you're not dumb, but how do I know it's 1.5? Turn the page and look right there. Do you see how R is sitting right there? Now, if you're not sure, you can make a few terms. If you're not sure, you can make a few terms. Plug in 1, you can plug in 2, plug in 3, plug in 4, and you'll find that A1 is actually 1.5. Yeah, Gavin, question.
Okay, what's the little scratched out spot next to the -1 power up there?
Oh, it's 1 minus 1. Yeah, thank you.
1 minus 1?
Yeah.
Okay. 1.
And Gavin, what I did is I plugged in 1 to make the first term. So to make A1, I had to plug in 1, okay? All right, now, it is 1.5. And if you're not sure, you can make a few terms and you'll see it's 1.5. Okay, so I'm going to go 1.5 to the 15th power, because it'd be 15 terms, right? Divided by parentheses 1 minus 1.5. And again, be careful how you put it in your calculator. I'm going to go, okay, -3, parentheses. Can you guys see my calculator? Yeah, parentheses. And I'm going to go 1 minus 1.5 to the power of 15. Parentheses. Divided by parentheses 1 minus 1.5 parentheses. Okay? And I get negative 2,621.36. Okay? Now negative. This actually does make sense why it's negative. You start with a -3, right? And you're going to multiply each time to a negative, so it would be a whole bunch of negative numbers. A bunch of negative numbers, and we add them all up and get that, okay? Now, let's actually look at the journal today, because I think there's something in the journal I want you to look at.